Standing beneath this serene sky, overlooking these broad fields, now reposing from the labors of the waning year, the mighty Alleghenies dimly towering before us, the graves of our brethren beneath our feet. It is with hesitation that I raise my poor voice to break the eloquent silence of God and nature. But the duty to which you have called me must be performed. Grant me, I pray you, your indulgence and your sympathy.
Two great armies met near a small town in Pennsylvania in July 1863. They fought with remarkable courage and determination for 3 days, and when it was over, the Army of Northern Virginia under Robert E. Lee was forced to retreat, leaving the Army of the Potomac bloody but victorious. 4 months later, President Lincoln traveled to the battlefield to participate in the creation of a new national cemetery on what had become hallowed ground. His short speech redefined the great conflict. The Union, he said, was engaged in a struggle not simply to preserve the nation, but to defend great principles and to bring about a new birth of freedom. With these remarks, Lincoln changed the way Americans view their terrible civil war.
The President of the United States.
7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now, we're engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation, or any nation, so conceived and so dedicated, can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We are come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that the nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it, far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they, who fought here, have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish.